Today, as of August 22, we are going to dive into one of the most urgent issues of our time, climate change. In this video, we will break down what's really happening to our planet, why it matters to you, and what we can do all about it. By the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of the science behind the climate change, the real world impacts we are already seeing, and the steps we can take to protect our future. So let's dive right into it. But first thing first, what exactly is climate change? Earth's climate has always been changing, but over the past century, something unknown has been happening. Since the Industrial Revolution, we have been pumping massive amount of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere by burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and other natural gases. These gases trap the heat just like the glass of greenhouse keep the plants warm. Imagine you are in a car in a sunny day with windows up. It gets hotter and hotter, right? That's what exactly happening on a global scale. The more greenhouse gases we emit, the thicker windows get, and the hotter our globe becomes. But how much hotter we are talking about? Earth's average temperature has already been risen by 1.1 degrees Celsius since the late 19th century. That might not sound much, but even small changes in temperature can have a massive effect on our weather system. So, what does this temperature rise mean for us? Well, let's look at some of the changes we are already seeing. Glaciers are melting at an alarming rate, contributing in rise of sea level. By the end of the century, scientists predict that sea level could rise up to 1 meter. For coastal communities, that could be devastating floods and displacement of millions of people. In other areas, rising temperature is leading several droughts, making it harder to grow foods and raising the risk of wildfires. Just think about the wildfires we have seen in the places like California and Australia. They are not just accidents, they are symptoms of climate warming. Climate change is not just about the environment, it's about the people. More frequent, intense natural disasters mean more homes destroyed, more lives lost, and more people forced to flee their homes. These climate refugees are a growing reality. It's not just about the destruction, it's about the fight to protect what we have. People from around the world are standing up, asking their leaders to take actions and making changes in their own life to reduce carbon footprints as much as possible. But how do we know that climate change is real and it's really happening? Well, thousands of scientists from around the world have been already working on our Earth's climate. From data collection, robust modeling, and real world observation, they have built a robust understanding of how humans are driving these changes. One of the most compelling piece of evidence is Killing curve. It shows how carbon dioxide in our atmosphere increasing since 1950s. It's not just a theory, it's a measurable, observable fact. It's not just a carbon dioxide, but also the nitrous gas and other greenhouse gases are also on rise. All these gases are contributing in warming our planet. Heat waves are becoming more common and long lasting, and this can be dangerous for older people and for those who have health problems. Cities are getting even hotter due to these heat waves due to concrete and buildings because concrete and buildings make the heat waves even worse. So, as heat waves are becoming more intense, people are relying on air conditioning and fans to stay cool. The more we use these cooling devices, the more energy we absorb. And most of these energies are coming from burning fossil fuels like fuel and gases, which releases even more greenhouse gases into the air, which trap the heat into the atmosphere and make it even warmer. This is a cycle where trying to keep calm and cool is making even worse. But heat waves are not the only problem. Oceans cover 70% of our Earth's surface and help us very deeply in keeping the balance in climate because they absorb a very huge amount of gases and energies and heats that caused by greenhouse gases. That sounds like a good thing, but that comes up with various consequences. For example, when they absorb heat, the water becomes warmer and it leads to more frequent and stronger storms. And warmer water also affects the marine life. For example, coral reefs are the vital ecosystem for many sea creatures, but they are bleaching and dying due to the warmer water as they can't survive in the hot water. And this effect is not just linked with the marine life, but it's also affecting millions of people that are dependent and attached to the oceans for food and jobs. So, if we keep pumping heats and gases into the atmosphere, as ocean can only take so much, so it will keep harming marine life and the ecosystem. Now that we know the problem, and the big question is, what can we do about it? And the good news, there are plenty of things we can do to help this out. And even small changes can make a very big difference. For example, using less energy in our daily life can make a significant uh, progress, and that's best place to get started. This could be turning off your extra lights when you are not using them, unplugging your electronics, for example mobile, laptops and computers when they are charged up fully, and setting up a bit lower your thermostat in winter and a little higher in your summers. This little thing can help reducing the amount of energy we use in our daily life, and that can make a very big difference. Another way to help this out is changing the way how we get around. For example, instead of driving a car in alone, you can use carpool with others, use public transportations, use bike or walk when possible. This is not just going to help reduce the traffic, but also it will reduce the pollution causing by cars into the air. For example, smoke and other pollutions that, for example, cars emits strong and bad gases into the air, and that cause pollution. So we can help reducing these things by with these little steps. Using alternative energy sources is another powerful way to make the difference. Instead of using the energy sources that comes up with burning fossil fuels like gas and oil, we can use alternative energy sources that comes up with, for example, sun, wind, and water. For example, having a solar panel at your home that can be used for the power supply of your home to light up your house and another electricity uses. So, uh, wind does the same thing, and these energy sources are not coming up with, they do not produce greenhouse gases. That means they are very good for the planet. So we should use these alternatives so that can make a big difference. As individuals, actions are needed and can make a significant difference, but we need bigger changes as well. And this is where our leaders comes in. We need to force them and ask them to make the policies and laws that protect the environment. It can be limiting companies how much pollution they can produce, investing on annual budget plans on clean energy, and protecting our forests and other natural areas and all the other things that are directly linked to our environment. Remember, every action we take will make a significant effect on the world that we leave for the next generation. Whether it's controlling our use of energy, spreading the word, or supporting clean energy, every word counts. Remember, it's not a job that only environmentalists and scientists need to take care of. We all need to take care of that and make significant changes that are directly linked to our environment.